What's up, what's up, what's up? We've got a battle here with my friend Mike FizzyStardust. He's pretty well known on YouTube for Pokemon DS stuff. He does some TCG stuff as well. And we have a Klinklang versus Zekrom Eels matchup right now. High open Groudon, and you might think that's sucky, but because I run a Darkrai, I can easily just retreat it if I need to, and even then, Groudon's pretty strong against Zekrom. That's one of the reasons why this deck runs it. I'm just gonna use the catcher so that I can try and potentially stall him while I try and set up. I'm gonna junk arm for that level, or not level ball, that heavy ball that I just used, so I can get another Klinklang or Kling, and then I'm gonna use the Juniper and get a new hand, and I get a Smeargle, so I'm going to play that. Unfortunately, I don't have a Darkrai yet, so I can't retreat into the Smeargle and use Portrait, so I think I just have to pass. He goes for Dual Ball. He gets Double Tails, which is, I mean, that sucks for him, but it happens. Yeah, so he's going to attach an Electric Energy to the Zekrom. I'm pretty sure he can't really do much else. He's got an Oak, I guess. He needs to hope to possibly... I don't really know what he can do now. I wouldn't have attached that energy because... And you see, now he got the switch, so if he would have had a double colorless energy or something, he could have started attacking with the Tornadus. So that attachment was pretty much pointless. So now that the Tornadus is out, that's kind of threatening. He also attached an Eviolite to that. I didn't realize that. That's pretty scary. Obviously, I'm going to need to capture that Zekrom out because I'm not going to be doing jack squat to that Tornadus. So I do use the catcher, and then I'm pretty sure I'm just going to Oak and hope to set up more. I get a Clang. I finally get the Darkrai. I evolve into Clang, and I play the Darkrai down because I'm pretty sure he doesn't run Terrakion anyway. Even if he did run Terrakion, the deck has to have Darkrai out, or else it's not going to be able to free retreat between the attackers. I think... Oh, I trump. I don't play the Darkrai down, because I was kind of worried about just playing it down. However, I really should have just played it. There was no reason to really hold it there, and right after I did the pass, I regretted not playing it down. There's no reason not to really play down Darkrai in this deck. This deck, and most decks in the format, rely on the fact that you can get free retreat if you have a Rainbow or Prism or Dark attached to your Pokemon. And if you were to end me right now, I wouldn't have the Darkrai, and I'd be pretty stuck because if I could set up a Klinklang, I could start switching between the attackers that I want to use. For example, I'm probably not going to want to use the Groudon if he just keeps retreating into that Tornadus, because the Groudon's going to do absolutely nothing to that Tornadus with an Eviolite attached especially. He's finally got a Dual Ball. I see at least one heads. Sorry, it's kind of blurry in the Sony Vegas preview thing that I'm looking at right now, so it's hard to see some of the stuff, but he gets another switch, and he's going to switch into Smeargle. So he gets a Sky Arrow too, must be nice. He's going to Portrait, I believe, and he's going to hit a Juniper. And that's probably good for him. He's probably got energy in his hand or something. Yeah, I see 2 energy and a Junk Arm. I would have wasted the Junk Arm if he had something in the discard. Like, he had a Dual Ball. I would have just went for it. Because, yeah, he wants to get those energy in the discard pile even if I didn't have a Juniper. Like if I had a Pond or something, you still wouldn't want to Junked Arm away the fighting, or not the fighting, the electric. So he has them there to Dynamotor. He gets the DC, and now he's able to do 70 to me. Oh yeah, yes, 60 to me. The extra 10 was there because of the Rainbow. I finally get a Heavy Ball, so I can get a Klinklang, and now I can start going crazy. I'm going to catcher up the Dynamo. I guess that isn't too bad. I want to deny him Eels at all costs. So that wasn't too bad of a play. I attach an energy to the Groudon. This is tough because if he has an energy and a plus power, he can KO the Groudon. And I don't have a max potion. So I kind of just have to go for it. I could have went for the Darkrai instead, I suppose. Yeah, I should probably should have went for the Darkrai play maybe, but I think I just Trump anyway. And I guess it doesn't hurt to get some damage on his bench Pokemon anyway. I kind of just have to hope he doesn't get the energy in the plus power, because if he does, then he's going to set me back really, really hard, because this deck needs the energy. It doesn't have acceleration, so every energy attachment really matters. And if you're the opponent and you're able to take out all of Klinklang's energy, they're pretty much screwed. He gets 2 Dynamos, so that's pretty annoying. And then he's going to Oak into a new hand. I still say that the biggest threat right now are those Dynamos. I want to get rid of those. I don't want him accelerating, because if it gets to a point where he can accelerate up a Mewtwo and just one-shot all my EXs, I might be stuck. But this deck does run a 1-up Mewtwo for that reason, but I'm pretty sure Fizz runs 2 to 3 Mewtwo, so that's still not going to keep me safe. He goes for the first attack. It looks like he doesn't want to go for the second one, and I guess that's fine, I guess. Here, I think I decide that I need to retreat into a different attacker. So I retreat because of actually Portrait. I'm not really sure why I did that, but okay. Now, if I don't get a switch, I can't attack this turn, and I also portraited into a Juniper. So I guess the lesson here, ladies and gentlemen, is to not portrait all willy-nilly like that, because Juniper is pretty popular. It's a 4-of in most decks, and if you have a handful of cards, you don't want to get rid of all those cards. Yeah, I'm not really happy with how I played that turn. That was really stupid. Luckily, I did get a max potion, so I was able to get rid of all the damage, but now he's going to get a free prize. But now he decides to catcher the Groudon instead, which is fine. He goes for a rando. Gonna get the Prof Oak, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna play the Prof Oak. And at this point, he can start setting up Eels. He does set up an Eel. Groudon can still one-shot them with the second attack. Darkrai can one-shot them with the Night Spear. So I'm not too worried at this point. I do have a max potion in hand, so I am going to be able to heal if he does 100. If he only does 60 though, I don't really feel like I need to waste the potion. Because there's no other attacker in his deck that's going to be able to one-shot me after taking 60. Zekrom, obviously, Groudon resists it, but he would need to do another 120. Sorry about that. We lost connection there for a little bit, so I had to refresh, and he decides to go for the 100 after attaching a Lightning to his Tornadus EX. And now I think I'm going to move the energy and then max potion, which is hilarious because now that just means that his last turn was all for naught. I am then going to move the energy back to the Groudon, or 3 of them, or just 2 of them. I'm going to Oak and hope I get something that doesn't suck. I do get an Eviolite, and that's pretty sick. I attach it to the Darkrai because just in case he runs Terrakion, I'm safe unless he has a plus power as well. You never know. People like surprising you with stupid Terrakions. I don't want to go into detail about Terrakion, but let's just say I hate it and my opponents always hit it. I didn't get the catcher too, which kind of sucks, so I have no choice but to Night Spear 90 on the Tornadus and 30 on the Dynamo on the bench. If he doesn't get any electric next turn, I'm going to be able to take it out with another snipe. But they usually always get it. So he's going to retreat here and bring out Smeargle. Which once again, retreating into Smeargle is kind of risky because without a switch, you're not going to be able to attack this turn, obviously. He does what? Oh, I think I had an N. He uses the N. I'm talking to someone on Facebook, not paying attention to the match, being irresponsible. Anyways, I come back, and yeah, he used the portrait for the N. I get a new hand. The new hand isn't that bad. He's gonna manually attach to the Zekrom, and then he's gonna dynamotor onto his benched Eviolited Tornadus, and then he has to pass. I'm not sure if that was the best play for him since I didn't see his hand. He did evolve into that eel, which is kind of unfortunate, but oh well. I'm going to use the oak and hope for a catcher. I don't get the catcher. So I'm going to burr candy into the other Klinklang because why not? I want to get rid of the dead cards, and in general it's nice to have two Klinklangs just in case he does something crazy and is able to take one out. And the only thing I can really do here is go for the Night Spear. I'm going to put another 30 on that eel so that no matter what, next turn I'm going to be able to take it out. And I'm just going to take out a Smeargle. And that's actually not too bad because if his hand sucks, then I just got rid of his alternate way of getting a supporter. He's going to promote his Tornadus EX with Eviolite. I mean, that's the safest play. It has free retreat, so he's going to be able to retreat into something else if he has to. It's also his bulkiest and strongest attacker against my guys right now. Although the Zekrom isn't too bad, but if he brings out the Zekrom, I'm going to be able to one-shot it with Darkrai. He drops the Zekrom with an Eviolite, and that is pretty scary. He is then going to N, and I don't really mind that. I get a Juniper and an N, and a Junk Arm off it, so that was pretty good for me. He is then going to retreat into the Zekrom with damage, which I don't really think he should do that, I guess, because I'm going to be able to take it out. However, being able to do 100 damage is pretty nice. However, I do have the Junk Arm, so I'm going to be able to Max Potion, which I think I do now. I move all the energy over to the Groudon, and then I Junk Arm away the N and the Rare Candy, and grab the Max Potion. I think about it, because I think I want the catcher instead, but I just go ahead and Max Potion. The reason why I wanted the catcher is because if I can catcher up the Tornadus EX, I'm going to be able to take 3 prizes this turn instead of 2, and that'll put me at a huge advantage. I go for the N instead here, which I guess isn't terrible, but I really shouldn't have done that. I guess I just kind of wanted to conserve supporters, and I don't know what I'm saying there because once again it's really blurry. But I can't really do much with his hand. The only thing I can really do is just Night Spear. So I move the energy back over to that Darkrai, and then I'm going to take out the Zekrom and the Eel for 2 prizes. And at this point, I should be fine as long as he doesn't A, get an Eviolite on that Tornadus on the bench, and B, I can get a catcher for that Tornadus EX. And I do have the Junk Arm in hand, but he does have the N like freaking usual. So that kind of sucks. I get an N off the N, which is like, that's not going to help me at all. So I might be kind of, well, he hasn't taken any prizes yet, so I don't know why I'm complaining. I just would like to finish the game quicker, I guess. Yeah, I don't really see how he wins this game. Once you set up with Klinklang, it's hard to lose. He Dynamotors, I think, onto that Zekrom with the Eviolite. And once again, I can't see what he's saying. He goes for a Junk Arm. Not sure what. Oh, he takes back the Dynamotor, I'm pretty sure. And then he Junk Arms for a Dual Ball. He's going to get at least 1 heads. I see a 2. And at this point, he goes for the Mewtwo. He's going to try and charge up a Mewtwo against me, but obviously that doesn't work because he doesn't realize that I do run Mewtwo in this deck. He attaches a DC and Dynamotors, and at this point he's doing 80 to me, which is fine, I guess. It's not gonna, you gotta 3-shot me, I guess, unless you have another energy next turn, then you can 2-shot me, which isn't too bad. Mewtwo isn't the worst play against Darkrai. If you charge up a Mewtwo, that usually works, but most opponents have a Mewtwo of their own to counter that strategy. So I'm going to take 80. Now I need to hope to draw into something really good to end the game. That is not game breaking. I make a misplay here. I wanted to use up my hand, so I dropped down the Kling, but now my bench is full, so if I draw into that Mewtwo, I can't even use it. And I don't draw what I need. And I also, by ending him, I kind of helped him out, which was stupid. I go ahead and retreat into Groudon. Yeah, I retreat into Groudon because I'm worried about him one-shotting the Darkrai. Now I force him to have a catcher and an energy to get rid of the Darkrai. And I go ahead and I'm pretty sure I'm going to Giant Claw for 80. Now next turn I can take it out with Darkrai unless he has the Eviolite. Or Max Potion or something crazy. So yeah, I made a little bit of questionable plays this game. I go back over to Facebook because I am I go over to Tumblr too. As you can see, I don't really care about this match at the time. I have to refresh again because it starts acting up. And then I tell him that I'm going to Giant Claw for 80 once again. And then I pass it over to him. And I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of cards in hand, so that's pretty intimidating, which means he could easily get the energy catcher. Even then though, I'm not in too bad of a situation because even then I can just promote the Groudon and do 120 with Giant Claw, so he's kind of stuck. No matter what he does, he's kind of doomed. He could go into the Tornadus EX with an Eviolite, but that's not really going to help him here. I still don't know what I'm saying there because it's so blurry, but I hope it's relevant. Yeah, I think he concedes here because he's looking at his prizes. There's nothing he can really do, and the game has been won by Mr. Klinklang. So I hope you guys like that match. Please send in your own matches so I can give you guys some feedback, get you guys a little bit of the spotlight, and I'll catch you guys later.